I think my shirt's on backwards.
Okay, everybody, this is one that you know. You don't need any words, and even if it's behind your mask, you can still make it happen. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up your eyes. We can all know everything without it. Knowing why it's in every one of us. By and by. Okay, just because for old time's sake and it's a new year, why don't we stand up and try to do this? You know, like
All of
similar
us.
to what we used to before, if it's okay with you. It's
It's
in
in every one of us to be wise.
Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by Give yourselves a hand.
May not be many, but we are mighty. That's
Indeed.
what we say. We know who we are. Good morning and welcome to Unity Skagit Valley. If you are online, we offer you our blessing of inclusion. We feel your presence, we know who you are, and we greet you in the spirit of love. We welcome you, and we're grateful for your willingness to be here on this first Sunday in January. Whatever it took to get out of your driveway, whatever it took to get over some of those huge humps in the road of snow and frozen ice. Thanks for being brave. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of this wonderful Unity family. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. This is the year that your dreams come true. This is the year that your ship comes in. This is the year you find Christ within. This is the year you will be glad to live. This is the year you have much to give. This is the year when you know the truth. This is the year when you find new youth. I like that. This is the year that will bring happiness. This is the year you will live to bless. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. This is the year that your dreams come true. Written by Warren Myers, that song has been sung in Unity churches and gatherings for, I venture a guess, 75 years. One of those traditional songs that was created to kickstart us into believing that something is waiting for us. Something is emerging within us, and that every step we take forward into the newness of living, brings forth this promise of a new year, a new birth, a new life, a new possibility, a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing. So we give thanks to those who have come before us. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. You love those words? This is the year your dreams come true. I hope so. I pray so. And I know so in the deepest place of my being. Our daily word reader this morning is Richard Treston, the brave and courageous. He is here to share with you today's daily word prayer. Look for a green light. It's just life.
Thank you. Good morning and Happy New Year, you intrepid souls. And good morning to everyone who's joined us electronically or otherwise. Today's daily word, our first daily word of the year for Sunday, is clarity. Time spent communing with God gives me clarity. When I gaze toward the heavens on a moonlit night, I expect to see twinkling stars and constellations. But if I use a telescope, I can see details with much greater clarity. This example could describe my spiritual life as well. I may go about my day mindful of my blissful feelings and kinship with all the people. These things and more are the fruits of my faith. But I find clarity during times of intentional contemplation. When I meditate upon the truth, I feel the presence of God fill my consciousness and touch my heart. This clarity informs my thoughts, words, and actions, bringing my faith to vivid life. And from 1 Corinthians 13:12, for now we see a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known.
I love that scripture. I love that. This would have been the Sunday that we normally would do our burning bowl white stone ceremony. But because of the weather, we made the decision to wait for more people to join us on that particular Sunday because it's so important. So we postponed to the 16th of January, Sunday the 16th, and invite you to be here in person or to join us online. Being here in person creates a collective energy that we then share in a blessing that that isn't just personal for the individual, but is both collective in terms of the power to bless the work that we do in that service, and more than that, to be a blessing in the world, in all of life. So please join us on the 16th. If you are participating from home, we'll email. Are you on our email list? I'm looking at you on this Sunday morning on the camera. I'm looking at you. Are you on our email list? Do you receive information about what's coming up? So we'll give you some instructions online. And but we really encourage, if you're willing and up for it, that we will create a safe environment and hope that you can join us. So thank you very much for being flexible for these changes, as we've been flexible about weather and all the things that have been going on in the last few days. So as always, all over the country, all over the world, in and through all aspects of life, is this movement of change, rapid change, sometimes really harsh change, the kind of change that takes down life as we've known it completely. We stand with you in and through all of these changes in your lives. We stand for you, we stand with you, and we stand beside you in prayer, in love, in the determined awareness that there is but one presence and one power at work in all of life, yours, mine, everyone's. There is one presence and one power. God the good, we say, all power, all wisdom, all of that which we seek and most deeply desire is present as oneness. We live and breathe and have our being in the midst of this perpetual state of oneness and perfection. And as things change, and as they so rapidly change, and we find ourselves feeling unprepared because we're seldom prepared for the reality of change, as those things are arising, you have a community that holds you in loving prayer, in that realization of your wholeness and perfection in the place you find yourself right now. The perfect order of all life is at work within you and within your life. On all levels, things may not work the way we think they will, but the perfection remains and endures. And so it is that it is our privilege to support you in this new year, 2022. If you want to be in touch, send an email with your prayer request, with your heart thought, with whatever it is that you would like to communicate. info@unitysv.org. info@unitysv.org. And we will be so delighted to support you and be with you in this time, in any time. Our Sunday team prevails. Nothing stops them. Ward is here to do music. Ellen is here doing sound, light, film, whatever's going on. She is back there doing that. Chris has been at the door greeting and welcoming and holding space. Richard, the Daily Word reader. We still have our Christmas decorations up. When we get a little more snow melt and ice melt, we'll get the Christmas decorations down. But every Sunday, most every Sunday, we're here, and we're so happy to serve you in every possible way. I don't have any announcements except the Burning Bowl, which will be, as I said, on Sunday the 16th. We combine Burning Bowl and White Stone. What is Spirit saying to you? What is it you'd like to release and are ready to release or wish you could release? And what is it you'd like to say as your commitment in the upcoming year? What are you wanting to give birth to? It's a good way to say it. What would you like to give birth to in this new year? And that's that service, and Ward does great music, and it's very meditative and peaceful, and we hope you'll come. How are you? Yeah. Where are our friends from? From Marysville. Thank you for coming up this morning. So happy to see you. You'll have to meet our new friends. New friends. We love that. A poem. It may not be relevant to anyone but me, but I fell in love with this, and I thought, I'm going to have a Sunday when I can share this because it'll be relevant. And then this morning I thought, I'm not going to wait. I want to be alive with you, it's called. I want to be alive with you. I want to be guided by older ups. I want babies to be born where old people die. I want to be sandwiched in the middle of a messy togetherness. I want to be warned before I do something stupid. And I want to be forgiven when I do it anyway. I want wisdom to be tapped out on my eardrums and not Googled. I want transitions to be recognized by fire, by that radiant divine fire. I want gifts to be educed from children, drawn from children, educed. Not familiar with that word. And teenagers and adults. And I want to mean something to my community. I want to get drunk on substance. I read that as divine substance, morning and night. I want to hear your dreams. I want to raise a revolution for gentleness. I want to get rich so I can billboard the highways with validations. I don't want to be another faker. I don't want to show you my good side and hide my humanity. I don't want to dole you out. I don't want to dole you out in digestible status chunks. I want to challenge you in long drawn-out rituals and still find you interested. I want to feed you 17-course meals made with spices I crush. I want to recite you circular poems, each beginning cutting a deeper grasp. I want to make you feel something, even if it's awkward. I want to sing you songs which are ancient and new. I want to carve stories in trees with tools my elders fashioned. I want to keep sharpening them. I want to find places we've never been, and then I want to return there, but backwards. I want to shuffle up words so we don't sleep through them. I want to learn things and then be splashed into never forgetting. I want to make you feel seen. I want to hold your pounding heart in my gentlest of hands. I want to make your thing feel like my thing, and I don't want to miss a moment. I want to dig at the bottom and find it false. I want to turn up unknown depths. I want to stand in this hurricane and sing the sweetest, most naked song you can bear. And most of all, I want to be alive with you. Her name is Tokopa Turner. And this piece reminds me of the work of Orion Mountain Dreamer. That somebody who's speaking something about being present in life in all its fullness, and from that place within where all the fullness lives in us, where all this life force lives, and we may not always comprehend what's moving in and through us, but can we be present to the unknowing of what is, and can we do that together? I want to be alive with you, even in the messy places. I like that. It speaks to my heart, that call to be present with each other in a way that really matters and has enough flexibility to contain us all. On Sunday mornings, other weekdays, we frequently have individuals who are troubled in a variety of ways, who come and inhabit our porch and the area around our building. I always think it's because there's a lot of light here, but it could be that it's because our porch is covered and takes people out of the elements or lets them feel safe somehow. On occasion, they become noisy and rowdy, and thank you, Chris, and thank you, Richard, for being present for that. So somebody receives a blessing even as they go on to other things this morning. I wonder what the year will hold. Last year at this time, I wouldn't ever have imagined the course my life took this year. I could never have imagined. I had no, there were no warning signs. There was nothing to say, buck up, get strong, things are coming. But things came, and now a year has passed, about a year. And I discover that out of the unknown comes so many gifts and so many blessings that we couldn't have seen or imagined because we neither saw nor imagined what was to be. But I know this. When we believe in the power of the presence, and we live in keeping with that belief and understanding, miracles present themselves daily. It isn't that when we don't believe, the miracles somehow disappear or don't show up for us. But the reality is miracles appear every day in the ordinariness and in the extraordinary or in the revelation of the unknown. Miracles are present. They're always present. And when we have eyes to see and a heart to receive and a willingness to participate in the process, amazing things occur. And it's been a year for me of amazing things. I wouldn't want to do it again, but I'm grateful for all I have been given. And as we enter the new year, perhaps we look at it and we say, this is going to be the year my dreams come true. Happiness will be everywhere. Everyone will be at peace with one another. We want to move into the year thinking that miracles look like that. But miracles look like the revelations that occur in our daily lives. As we're going in and through our own personal experiences, we see one miracle after another. And sometimes we have to look far and deep. But there it presents itself. And when we see it and can be receptive to it, we seem to become a magnet for even more of those kinds of experiences. And we say, yes, this was the year my dreams came true. I just didn't know it would look that way. This is the year for which I am grateful. These are the experiences that I have lived, that have awakened life in me in new and very different ways. Yes, for all things we are grateful. Would you like to move us into meditation? Join me then in that spirit of gratitude. For all that has come, and for all that is yet to be, we stand poised, standing on a threshold that leads us to places we never dreamed we would go or could go, or on some level needed to go. But there it was. There it was. And although it may have been a rocky road, we are able now to take a deep breath and accept the gift and all the gifts that have come to bless us along the way. With your breath, and with the opening of your heart, gently feel into the presence within you. The presence, the one presence within you. That which we call the divine. The Christ presence. The presence of peace. The presence of love. Feel into it. Experience yourself as being permeable, flexible. You can feel into the depths of your own being. Gently, with your attention, gently feeling into that which is greater than concern or circumstance. Feeling into it, leaning into it. Allowing yourself to be held and enfolded by the presence, the oneness. There is body and there is all the system that we call our body at work. But within all of that, in every bit of your being, is the divine, is your divine truth, the reality of who you really are. Feel into it. Breathe and allow yourself to rest in the love and the peace of the One. Let it go. What is the it for you? Let it go as you rest in the presence, in the spirit. In the love and in the peace. Feel into the deep places where there has been pain or separation or whatever has been costly to you. Breathe into those places and allow the light of the One to become fully awakened in those places. I call upon the light and it shines. Here in this, and here in this. And I release to spirit. I release to the One these disturbances, these distresses, these upsets, these challenges. I release them now as I move forward into my new experience of living and being. I touch into myself and find that I am greater than I ever knew or realized. And I honor myself as I invite you to honor yourself as you remember what you have come through and give honor to yourself and your courage and your strength, that those gifts of spirit within you that have presenced in the moments that you faced. Honor yourself. And remember that from all things arise these gifts, these miracles, these blessings. And give thanks for them all. We may not always know why, but we know that the power within us is greater than the condition or experience of the world. And so we stand inwardly, allowing the power to move through us as we step into this new time, into this new day, into this new life. For all that has been, we give thanks, said, Dag Hammarskjöld, for all that will be, we say yes. Loving spirit in trust and faith believing, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen. You're at the keyboard. Huh? You're at the keyboard. You're in the middle of doing what you're doing. Suddenly your phone starts to ding. We just took it in and made space for it.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Could be any of us.
Okay, well, I'm going to look at the song as cleansing the palate from the last 2 weeks that we've been in. That have been, I don't know how it's been for you, but it's been really weird for me. Yeah. Oh, okay. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, they're only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it, but I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it, and look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do you think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. There's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La 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 la.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect song. Yay. Thank you. So, it was a strange time. Mr. Ward, it was a very strange time. We did 2 trips in December to Oregon because my mother was moved into assisted living, and there were things to do and details to manage, and just to be part of her process of settling in to the new place where she's living in Seaside, Oregon. She's 96. It's amazing that she lived on her own independently for all these years, and now is making the adjustment to this new life. And we, in the second trip down, we came back the day before Christmas Eve, and it was so interesting, not just in my own experience, but this feeling of wanting to draw in, as though when it began snowing, it was an answer, a huge answer to some unspoken prayer about drawing in, wintering, not in the negative sense, but just, and I'm not saying closing all the doors and windows of drawing in. What I'm describing is something that I don't really have words for, and it's that feeling as though everything was pulling us inward in preparation for more deepening. My mother's experience of trying to adjust to not being able to be independent in the way she has known herself to be, not to be making the most significant daily choices in her life because she's part of another experience now. And her things have been such a, and here's an investigation for us all. Her things have been point of definition, point of pride, point of life for all these years as she survived her childhood and came up through the experiences of her life and our life, and the pride she took in her clean house and her the details of her life done in the way that she had always done them, and then her things that had such value, and not wanting us to release her things that are stored right now, because it's the one touch point that she really has to the life that she has identified with and lived in and created for herself. And so it comes to be that even when we think we've released and let go so much, whether it's tangible somethings or experiences in our lives or things we've gone through that we've survived but still really are part of how we've defined ourselves, identified ourselves. And much of that comes from historical wound or from life before we began to wake up spiritually or began to see ourselves from a different perspective, a spiritual perspective instead of just our human experience of being. We've carried these things, and occasionally something comes along and it cuts us, it frees us, it severs where we are from where we've been. We're just not that person anymore. We don't live out of that state of being, out of those old ideas, those old ways of seeing. Something comes along that's so powerful that that we can't quite identify what it was that had such power over us, or why it had such meaning, or why we had struggled for so long, or whatever it was. For my mama, that's not where she is right now. But at 96, I would not wish that she be in any place but the place she is. And of course, her mind is going back over the old stories, what it was like. Current memory is a little hit and miss. But I look at that and I think, yeah, those old stories. Is that what it's going to be like when we're of an age? Is that what's going to drive our consciousness? The constant reflection on what used to be, or what we normalized and said, oh, this is normal? Is that how we're going to live into our future? Is that the way we're going to allow ourselves to be held captive? We don't really know. But part of the work we do spiritually is to allow us to release what has come before, so that we're not living with that until the day we die as a point of definition or as a point of identity. Well, this is why I'm the way I am. All of a sudden, you stop perhaps needing to define yourself that way any longer. It's not the most important thing that the past be the container or the containment for how we are in the here and now. And as we spiritually mature, one of the things we do is allow ourselves, certainly as often as possible, to be set free mentally, physically, and in ways that have lived our lives for us. So here's a great story, and I've certainly shared it before. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a king who'd been given the gift of 2 peregrine falcons. This was a very honorable gift, as the falcons were exquisite and would make noble companions as the king hunted his royal grounds. The king passed the falcons off to his gamekeeper and instructed him to train the raptors for next season's hunt. The gamekeeper set about his training of the 2 peregrines. One bird performed exceedingly well. However, the second bird excelled not at all. In fact, the bird never moved off its branch. The gamekeeper was flummoxed. He recruited the advice of an avian expert. After inspecting the bird, who would not fly, the expert diagnosed it as perfectly healthy and sound. He was baffled as to why the bird would not fly. Left with no other choice, the gamekeeper approached the king about the flightless falcon. Never turning down a good challenge, the king sent out an announcement to every village, town, and rural residents within the kingdom. He set a high reward for anyone who could make his grounded falcon take flight. Hundreds came. Some tried luring the bird off its branch with bits of meat. Others chanted and sang in hopes to inspire the bird to fly. Still others poked at the bird, which was a huge mistake, as the falcon bit the fingers that poked at him. After many days of challenges and many disappointments, overall, the failed attempts to prompt the raptor to fly left a feeling of hopelessness. Hopelessness. But one day there came a woman from the furthest outreaches of the kingdom. As she kept to herself, cloistered in her small hovel, few residents in the kingdom knew anything about her. She was weathered, disheveled. She approached the bird, and from the folds of her garments drew a wicked, sharp blade. The crowd gasped. I love the drama of it. It's such a good story at this point. Was she going to kill the king's falcon? She used the blade to hack off the end of the branch that the falcon had been stoically sitting upon all this time. In a flash, the falcon's wings unfurled, and it took off into the skies with stunning glory, grace, and power. The king marveled over the sight. The crowd cheered. "How did you know?" said the king. "How did you know my falcon would take flight if you cut off the branch?" From leathery lips, the woman spoke. Some souls need to be reminded they have wings. Some souls need to be reminded they have wings. In this time, I count it blessing when I'm drawn deep so that spirit of renewal can begin to generate and gestate within me. Sometimes what we're going through is a cutting of the branch. And what we fail to notice is it's working in us because we need to draw on that strength that's within us. We need to draw on that courage. We need to draw on that power that is within us, that power for flight, that power for meeting and accepting life as it's revealing itself to us. The need to rise up rather than lie down in the midst of misery and times of challenge, whatever they might be. That call to enter into relationship with power, with the power within us that lifts us into the energetics that are necessary to meet and rise and fly, even in times when it seems our wings are being tethered, held down, trapped. If the truth that we have studied over the years are unity principles and ideas, if the truths that we have studied are true, and if we've been following this path for however long we have, and are given over now to this sense of hopelessness, we're denying everything that is asking to be born in us individually and collectively through the experience and opportunity of these moments that are presenting themselves, seemingly one after the other, after the other, after the other. This invitation to live in the unknown as we gestate and grow within us in our spiritual awareness. There's something available that isn't just a fantasy of hope, but it's a wise hope. Roshi, Joan Halifax. I was reading an article that Sam sent me through the internet like last night. And I read it, and she used the word wise hope. Not just this intangential kind of fantasy, fluffy hope. Happy New Year, we say. Happy New Year, we say to each other. Like that would mark something that we'll all experience automatically. Well, there are times when it's not automatic. It has to be generated. It has to be gestated. It has to be brought to life. The creative power within us, this life force within us, this divine strength for meeting and rising and not overcoming by force, but overcoming through awareness of the possibilities that are existent in this time. Brings us the opportunity then to let go of what is known in many ways and step across that line into the courageous acceptance of the unknown, utilizing the principles we stand for and stand on as our commitments, these principles, to function in life, utilizing these incredible powers of strength and wisdom and order and a realization that things may not go the way we want them to, but they're not any less perfect. They're just not the way we wanted them to be, but that doesn't mean they're not perfect in their own time and in their own way. We seldom get to vote on these experiences that appear in our lives. But we certainly have the capacity to engage in empowered action to meet the moment from a place of deeper awareness and a willingness to be led, to be taught, to be in trust and in faithful abiding with that one presence, that one reality, that one unchanging, perfect truth that is present within us and in all the moments of our lives. And that takes something of us. It's not just a blithe, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. We throw it around like just because we say it, it's so. Or we live it as though it's so. Will it be happy? I don't know. Will things happen that we never ever want to see happen to us or to others or to our world? Well, it's likely that things are going to happen that really challenge us. But for what? For wings that fly? For the deep engagement with spirit in a way that regenerates us, brings us to life in a new and more extraordinary way. I was called to the story of Jacob and Esau. Jacob, who stole his brother's birthright, tricked his father, tricked a man who provided him home, shelter, and work. Lived a life that was based on what he wanted more than being in cooperation or caring relationship with others. It was all about him. He got one wife through trickery, and then he got another one. He completely robbed his brother of his stature and his status. And here he is going to reconcile with his brother. Why? What prompted that kind of move, that something in him said, Jacob, to be whole, to live in alignment with the truth of your being, you have to go meet your brother. You've got to step through this portal, this place, into a new opportunity of life. Not just make it right, not just erase the past, that's not going to happen. But what? Be present in life, in the here and the now, beyond what has been, in the possibility of what can be. He hears the guidance to go, to be reconciled, to make right, to be finished with it. His whole life was based on one story after another. And now it's time to give up the old story. It talks about him being right at the threshold of going now to actually be in the physical presence of his brother. His brother is coming to meet him. Word has gone forth. The brother is coming to meet him with 400 of his family and servants and people. And Jacob is spending the night wrestling, it says, with an angel. Wrestling with himself. Wrestling with his I want to move forward, and I'm afraid to move beyond this moment. Fear, the fear of the unknown, fear of the brother, fear. All night he wrestles until he asks and receives the blessing. You remember? He says to that with which he is wrestling, bless me. And it happens. He receives the blessing. He moves into reconciliation with himself. He moves into this fertile place of being freed of the story, the ideas, the history. He's reconciled with himself, with his spirit, with his God, with his truth, even in the face of the unknown. And he goes forth, and his brother rushes to meet him with all the love and acceptance in his heart. No more war. No more separation. Just pure reconciliation. And that freeing redemption that occurs when we wrestle in ourselves against our higher good that's inviting us to let go, to move forward, to rise with the rising of the Spirit within us. And sometimes that branch has to be cut out from under us to actually get into the process of the recreation and the renewal and the truth of our being once again displayed in all its glory. Happy New Year, we say. Happy New Year. We actually, I think, should put up signs that say, caution, you're crossing into new territory. Who can say what you will meet there? Caution. Life is unfolding in all its perfection. Wise hope. Again, Joan Halifax, wise hope is born of radical uncertainty. It's rooted in the unknown and the unknowable. How could we ever know what's really going to happen? But the great work is already preparing the way, has already been at work within us. The great work, the divine work, the divine in all its unfolding has already been at work, bringing forth exactly that which is needed to meet the moment in time that we're called to. It couldn't happen. It couldn't happen if there was not divine order at work. It couldn't happen. It wouldn't exist. Why would that be? Because everything is moving in accord, in perfection and right and perfect order. It's the origination of all of life and all of creation. It could not be other. David Spangler offered this prayer for the new year. May this be my prayer each day of this new year. May I appreciate this day, the presence of love in my world. May I appreciate this day, the presence of love in my world. And may my actions increase this presence. May I appreciate this day, the value of my life and my power to make a positive difference in the lives of others. May I act with this power. May I appreciate this day. May I appreciate this day, the wonder of the world and all its life. May my actions serve the well-being of this life. May I appreciate this day humanity's efforts to unfold a global awareness that brings peace and nurture to the earth. And may my actions support this unfoldment. May the light of my soul be present to me this day and through me to all whom I meet. May I make this day a chalice to hold and share the blessings seeking to manifest in my world. May I make this day a chalice to hold and share the blessings seeking to manifest in my world. May I make this day a seed of hope. May I make this day a seed of hope. As I guide my energies toward that which overcomes all hopelessness, all despondency, all sense of powerlessness, as I align with the truth of my being and say, yes, this is a happy day for me. This is a happy day for me. And miracles are present here. It's time to gather ourselves up and mount up on the wings of spirit. Ride on out of here to face what this new day and the days ahead will bring. You rise up on the wings of angels, the wings of spirit. Allow ourselves to be carried into a new moment in time. And if there's something calling our name that needs to be handled, released, let go, it is just so over time to get that done. To let it go. It is so over time to let those wounds heal and allow ourselves to be free. This ministry operates through your love and generosity. We exist because you support it. You support the work. You support the truth. You support the ideas that we teach. You support this community as we grow and unfold together. And so for every gift we receive, we are, gratitude can hardly describe what we feel. The way Spirit supports our ministry, the way you support by allowing Spirit to support through you. We are so very deeply, profoundly grateful because we wouldn't be doing this if you weren't doing that. So thank you for your gifts all year through. And this morning, if you choose to give a gift, your tithe, your love offering, the plate is on the table as you leave the sanctuary. And if you choose to give a gift, you can donate online. You can send a check in the mail. You can drop your love offering through the door slot if you can get into the parking lot. And whatever way you choose to give, know that our gratitude is constant. for you and for your generosity. And as you're generous in that way, you open the door for more and more experiences of flow in your own lives. I give joyfully and easily, we say. What a great statement. I give joyfully and easily. Isn't that nice? I was so blessed this season. I was so blessed. Such generosity. Members of the community who blessed me so generously and lovingly. I am beyond grateful. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature. Here we go, friends. Here we go. We go knowing that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God infills and enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Bless you. Blessed New Year to you. Bless you. Thank you for being here today. We'll see you soon, real soon.